Hi everyone, so it's brew day today. I done my prep last night and I'm now ready to brew. So my malt has already been crushed and my Braumeister is ready to go. So as you can see there, a temperature of 63 degrees has been reached. So what this means is I'm following this recipe over here. This is my IPA recipe. Zoom into that for you. So I've programmed this recipe into the Braumeister. And yeah, I'm now going to start mashing. I'll now add my malt. So it is slightly above the temperature of 63 degrees. But what we're going to do is we are, that as we add the malt, the temperature will come down slightly. So yeah, I'm just going to start prepping for the malt addition. Okay, so I'm now ready to fill in my malt. So there's my crushed malt that I've prepared. And the way the Braumeister works is it has what they call the malt pipe. So you can see there's a little sieve there at the bottom. So what we'll do is we'll fill the malt into the Braumeister, give it a nice stir, and then let it follow the recipe, the mashing recipe. So yeah, I'm just gonna fill the malt and then cover it up. Okay, so I'm filling the malt pipe, and what you'll see, what I do is I'll add a little malt, and then I have my little Braumeister spoon, and then I just stir it in a little. Just add some more malt and continue the whole process until the full, I think it's a total of 11 kgs. 11 kgs of Pilsner malt. So I'll just fill it in like this and give it a stir again. So I'll continue this process and then I'll show you how we cover it up and how we start the mashing process. Okay, so now all the malt has been filled in, and I'm just giving it a good nice stir with the spoon, and yeah, I'll be closing it up quickly. So how this works is you'll see that this section here is actually loose. It just goes down to the base, and then you have this pipe that goes over there that holds it back, and you have a butterfly screw. I just need to be careful it doesn't fall in. Here we go. This butterfly screw you use then to tighten the pipe onto the malt pipe. But what I need to do is there's another section that needs to go on here, and that's the top sieve. So I'll show you how that works now. So the top sieve, you'll see here, goes, so there's one like this at the bottom already, like I showed in the previous video. So you drop the top sieve onto the Braumeister or onto the malt pipe, and then there's another section like this that goes over there to hold the sieve when it boils. And then on goes your pipe that holds the malt pipe, and your butterfly nut. Everything has been sanitized. So we are now ready to start the process. And if you go right down to the control panel, you'll see fill in malt. So we have filled in the malt. We say yes. Malt filled in. We say yes again. So now the brewing process has officially started, or the mashing process. So after 70 minutes there'll be a ping sound and it will move on to the next stage. So I just want to show you what's happening within the Braumeister. So the water boils. As the water boils, the pump pushes water from the bottom through the malt, and there's this continuous circular movement. So it mashes through nicely, and it boils the malt, and then obviously creates the sugars, from which we then ferment to create the beer. So I'm ready for the next step now. You'll see that once the program has reached its end, it will say remove malt pipe. So now what we'll do is, you'll see that there's this little U frame that you put over the Braumeister, and we're now going to remove the malt pipe with this bracket. Hold it like this. We're going to remove it with this bracket, because you'll see that there's the little ears on the side there. So what happens is, this bracket goes so you hook the bracket, and then you can lift the malt pipe. So this is going to need we need to put some elbow grease in here. Okay, so the malt pipe has now been lifted out of the Braumeister. So now I'm just going to let it drain a little, and we will then remove it, and then we'll start boiling. Okay, so I'm about, as you can see there, about 26 minutes into the boil. I done my very first hop addition, so I'm gonna do my second hop addition now. So that's the malt pipe over there removed, and obviously the malt is still in there. So I'm going to add my second hop addition now. So the first one was 50 grams of Centennial, and I'm doing the other 50 grams. And then let's say another, I would say 20 minutes towards the end of the boil. 20 minutes before the end of boil, I will then add the final addition of hops, which is the Cascade. Okay, so we are now 61 odd minutes into the boil, and that is what the water is looking like. So I'm about to do my second hop addition of Cascade. Okay. Give it a nice stir. It smells good. So at this point, what we'll be doing is we'll be cooling the wort. So because this has a cooling jacket, which means that you have water coming in on the inside, but not necessarily going into the mixing of the wort, and then exiting again, cooling the wort. I'm going to cool the wort to about 20 degrees or so, and then so I'll monitor the temperature over here. So I have fresh cool water coming in from my bowl, and then exiting, and I'm filtering it into the pool or sending it into the pool. Okay, so we are now still busy with the whirlpooling. The water has now reached 20.5 degrees. We are now ready to transfer the wort into the fermenter, and what we'll do is I've attached a little pipe over there, and we'll start with the transfer process. So from this point, you need to be very, very sure of your sanitizing, because any bacteria entering at this point can actually spoil your beer. So this, including this pipe, that has been sanitized. so that if it does come into contact with the wort, then you know we are safe. So we are still transferring the wort into the fermenter over there. I just switched. There's two outlets. There's one in the back and one in the front. The one in the back is a bit lower. So this is the one in the front, and as you can see, we're filling up. Okay, so I'm doing the gravity reading now. So this is initial gravity. Okay, so now that we've taken our gravity reading, we got a gravity reading of 1.055, which should give us a final alcohol by volume of 7.2, which is quite high. It's surprisingly high. So, but I mean, that's a good thing. And then, yeah, what I need to do now is I just need to pitch the yeast. Okay, so the yeast we'll be using is the Safale US05, and one packet should do it for this batch of about 30 liters. And what we do with the yeast is we just sprinkle. So you don't mix in, you just sprinkle the yeast. It will settle itself. And also what we'll now do is we'll close it up. The fermenter, make sure everything is sealed properly, and we'll probably ferment for about 2 or 3 days outside, and then we'll check the temperatures and then see if we need to move it around. So it needs to ferment at about between 15 and 22 degrees.